to another edition of the Wrestling Report alongside my partner Squad. I'm your host Damon. On this edition of the IWR, going to do our 2011 Pro Wrestling Awards Show, very special edition of the IWR. We're going to kick it off. First category starting out will be our Breakout Star of the Year. For me, I'm going to go with Alberto Del Rio. Did tons of stuff in 2011, winning the Royal Rumble, going on to have a world title match at WrestleMania, and then winning 2 WWE titles later on in the fall. Just kind of pegging himself as now a main event mainstay in WWE. I know at the end of 2010 he was in some main event matches, but now really he is looked at as a main event guy, and backstage he's looked at as a guy that they look upon as a main event guy going forward, hopefully coming back from this injury that he's at now to do some more great things as Del Rio has done in the past. I'm going to go with Del Rio as my Breakout Star of the Year.
My Breakout Star is Daniel Bryan. Guy that really wasn't well known, I guess, at the beginning, going into 2011, except for the Ring of Honor fans that knew his past, and the Indies fans, and that knew where he came from and his roots. Then he came in and won Money in the Bank, and then now he has a world title. Now he's hopefully turned heel soon. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Daniel Bryan coming up.
Year for Daniel Bryan for sure. Next category up, we have the Women's Wrestler of the Year. I'm going to go with the Queen of Wrestling, Sarah Del Rey. I mean, there's just no other women's wrestler that is well-traveled, well-versed in professional wrestling that is Sarah Del Rey. She's all over the place, wrestling for Shimmers, Ring of Honor, Chikara, wherever basically you could see, great women's wrestling, you're going to find Sarah Del Rey. Just going all over the place. I mean, she almost can be looked upon as almost a male wrestler because she has wrestled male men before and has had great matches with them as well. But I mean, she's almost looked upon as just a wrestler and not a women's wrestler because she is just great at everything she does. And it's going to be hard to really take her off that pedestal. I mean, I know there's women like Gail Kim and the Beth Phoenixes of the world who are absolutely great, but kind of get that mainstream kind of feel to them, which kind of brings them down, which is kind of crappy in my opinion because I think they're great as well. But I'm going to go with Sarah Del Rey as my women's wrestler of the year.
My women's wrestler is Gail Kim in TNA. As I said, in TNA. WWE, she was kind of shit upon, thrown on the back burner, really not well focused. Comes in TNA, pretty much just straight, here I am, wins the Knockouts title and the Knockouts tag titles, which she still had both, which she should be focused on in a company if she's there. So Gail Kim's my women's wrestler here in TNA.
Being focused on there. Next category up, we have a very interesting one. We have the Markout Moment of the Year, basically something to where we just went absolutely insane when we saw it. This one's pretty tough for me because I actually had two things, both centering around CM Punk. Number one, obviously you guys have seen, if you've seen other IWR videos, I did get the opportunity and the privilege to attend Money in the Bank this year. Just an absolutely amazing atmosphere and feel in Chicago, CM Punk's hometown, and seeing CM Punk walk out of there, run out of there basically, as the new WWE champion, his first WWE championship, I was just absolutely freaking out. It was amazing just to see that outcome happen. It did not have a feel of something that was today's wrestling. It had that kind of attitude era, that kind of ruthless kind of feel that was something that we look of back like 10 12 years ago, something like that. But it happened in 2011. Amazing to see that. I do have an honorable mention as well. I have CM Punk returning after Money in the Bank, debuting the Cult of Personality song, just kind of hitting that music when Cena was in the ring, and just seeing everybody in the crowd have absolutely no idea what was going on, and me flipping out because a lot of us that know of CM Punk's past and everything that happened there, and the use of that song, what happened, we did it in Ring of Honor, all that kind of stuff, and just seeing nobody in the arena do it, and all of us knowing what happened, I was just freaking out. It was amazing to see that. But yeah, those are my two markout moments of the year. But number one for sure would probably be the Money in the Bank one.
Mine also has something to do with the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with Daniel Bryan winning the Money in the Bank. Not even win the world title. Just I guess that whole Money in the Bank match, just the whole SmackDown one. Raw one was really good. SmackDown one, I think, had a little more excitement just because Daniel Bryan was in it. And anything with Daniel Bryan is going to be very exciting. So him winning the Money in the Bank and just hearing Cole just freaking diss on him and just I don't know. Maybe just because I watched Daniel Bryan from back in the old days and just coming into WWE and finally being used properly and put on the main stage.
Great to see that for sure. Next category up, we have the Tag Team of the Year. I'm going to go with the Briscoe Brothers, the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. I mean, to me, the standard that you look upon in tag team wrestling in the last couple of years, and really the last 10 years, you look upon current tag team wrestling. I mean, these guys just had the great feud with All Night Express, the title matches they had, not winning them, but finally winning them against Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team, but just really solid throughout all of Ring of Honor this year, having great matches, like I said, that kind of nice little blood feud they had with All-Night Express, the street fights, and the no-holds-barred matches they had there, and then finally moving on to get the tag titles, and not even to mention the amazing promos and stuff they've cut throughout the year, providing some of the most entertaining and funny stuff throughout, the entire year, within the ring, outside the ring with promos. So Briscoes are my tag team of the year.
I have to agree with Jamie on that. Briscoes are really good, but in my opinion, whenever you hear the name, or let's say whenever someone says tag team, in my opinion, the name that first comes to mind is Kings of Wrestling. Even though they're not currently together, and one's in Ring of Honor and one's in the FCW. There you go. I guess, just seeing them in action live was awesome at the 9th anniversary show, and then just all their feuds they had, and where they wrestled in so many different spots, like Sarah Del Rey. Just one tag team that I wish will someday come back together in WWE and just destroy any other tag team, which WWE doesn't have.
Yeah, when the Kings of Wrestling are together, they are the best tag team in the world. That's just quite frankly how it is. Next category up, we have the feud of the year. For my feud of the year, I'm going to go with CM Punk versus John Cena. You could say CM Punk versus the WWE. Everything basically focusing on that summer, with CM Punk basically just igniting the wrestling world with everything he did there. Just amazing stuff. I mean, some say that it didn't really build off of what really happened with the that first promo that CM Punk cut in June, with all the amazing stuff that went there. But to me, when I look back upon 2011, CM Punk and everything that went on in the WWE is what I'm going to be looking back upon. But I'm going to go CM Punk, John Cena / WWE kind of thing is my feud of the year.
Mine's Eddie Edwards versus Dave Richards. Just former American Wolf tag team partners, and then they turn. I guess they never really turned on each other, or they just like part ways.
Yeah, just separating. Yeah.
Like real men do, just honorable, still, I guess, friends outside of the ring, but just their matches in the ring are just like, I don't know if the word breathtaking takes it, but just like shocking of how much these guys, how much energy they leave in the ring. Just a couple matches, it looks like, just watching it, I just got tired.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's because I'm a fat, lazy dude, but just these matches, these kicks, these moves they do, just non-stop until one person can't move anymore, and then they pin them.
Yeah.
Just
monster.
Just a feud. I don't even know if you consider it a blood feud. Just the wolves turning butt ends.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my feud of the year.
Next category up, we have the pay-per-view of the year. I am, of course, going to go with Money in the Bank of this year. Not only being there live, but actual pay-per-view was absolutely amazing. You look at CM Punk, John Cena, the 2 Money in the Bank matches, Randy Orton, Christian. This pay-per-view overall was absolutely amazing and just awesome to see live, something I will never forget until the day that I die, especially with wrestling as part of that. It was just an overall great pay-per-view and a great experience for me as far as my wrestling journey goes. That sounded gay as all get up, but that's all right. As far as my wrestling kind of thing goes, but Money in the Bank is my pay-per-view of the year.
Mine, Victory Road from this year, just a Sting and Hardy match. Just not feeling it.
Oh, God, thank God.
Just not feeling that shit. If you want to watch that, just go back.
Victory Road.
Go back over here.
It's like over there, and then you scroll down.
Just a little ways.
And then Victory Road.
Yeah, just watch that, then you can come back. But mine's actually the same thing as J-Man's. One of a couple that we're going to agree on. Is Money in the Bank. Even though I didn't get the privilege to do it because I was working early morning that next day. The Punk Cena feud just pretty much just made this pay-per-view. This is, I guess, one of the better ones, and probably the best one in 2011.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just these Money in the Banks, just everything in that pay-per-view was kind of from, like, the Edge era, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And then just the way it ended with Punk running out. Who else would do that? I don't think anybody... I don't see Big Show running out. I don't know. Just Money in the Bank is hands down pay-per-view of the year.
From the Money in the Bank comes our next category, which is my match of the year, which is CM Punk and John Cena. I mean, quite frankly, when you look back on 2011, you're going to be looking back at this match. I mean, it's just something that did not have a feel of, current mainstay wrestling. It's going to be something that you feel, like he said, like that Attitude Era feel. And I have not had that feeling being in an arena like that since I was a kid back in the, the late 90s, being in there at that Attitude Era type feel. I have not had that. And it really made me feel like this is special. And this is something really, really great. To me, this is John Cena's best match he's ever had. And that's saying something because he's had, some pretty solid matches, WrestleManias here and there, wherever he has had better matches at. But to me, this is absolutely the best match of the year. The storytelling, the work that these guys put on, it was like 35 minutes long or something like that. And just the storyline building up to it also added to it, the outcome of it, everything about this was just absolutely flawless. to me, my match of the year, CM Punk and John Cena for Money in the Bank.
That was also my match of the year. Just like J-Man said, just the Attitude Era, just the story that built up. Like last year, I believe both of ours was Shawn and Taker's.
Yeah.
Just look at these two matches hand in hand. They're pretty much, one has a career on the line and one just has a title in the company on the line. So that's pretty much my match of the year.
All right, next categories up, we're going to be doing our Wrestlers of the Year, WWE, TNA, and ROH, and then doing Overall Wrestler of the Year. For WWE, my Wrestler of the Year is going to be CM Punk. I'm going to hold off saying some stuff about CM Punk because I have a feeling you're going to be seeing more from me and CM Punk in the end of this video. But I'm going to go CM Punk as my WWE Wrestler of the Year.
Mine's also CM Punk. We didn't plan this out. Just a guy that can literally ask for him to get his face on an ice cream bar and it will happen. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Nobody else can do that.
My TNA Wrestler of the Year is going to go to the phenomenal AJ Styles. As I've said before, I think CM Punk is the overall best wrestler in the world. But when you put a guy in the ring, I don't think anybody can do what AJ Styles can do. And quite frankly, if you look back on 2011 in TNA, it was absolute shit. But if you look back at like the top 5 matches you're going to find in TNA, I would say about 4 of those 5 matches are going to include AJ Styles.
Is Jeff Hardy singing there?
No.
Okay.
No, they're absolutely not in there. You look back at the feud with Christopher Daniels he had, the match he had with Bobby Roode, the match he had with Bully Ray at Slammiversary. I mean, you look back at these matches that he's had and numerous other matches that you could look at. There's nobody putting on better matches, better on quality out there than the phenomenal AJ Styles.
I have to agree with J-Man on one part. AJ Styles is carrying that company on his back. But mine is Robert Roode, current world champion in TNA. Just a guy that was tag champs at the beginning of the year and then turned into a world champ at the end of the year. Yeah. Hands down, like J-Man said, I'll talk about him a little later on.
Next, we have the Ring of Honor Wrestler of the Year. I'm going to go with the American Wolf, Davey Richards, the current Ring of Honor World Champion. What else is there to say? As like we said, with the feud with Eddie and Davey that they had, just put on some absolutely amazing things. And just really every single night, he's a guy that will go out there and work his ass off, a lot like in Eddie Edwards, and a lot like everybody else in Ring of Honor. They'll work their ass off to just put on the best quality match they could possibly do. And Davey will go out there and just damn near kill himself to do that. To me, Davey Richards, my Ring of Honor Wrestler of the Year.
My Ring of Honor Wrestler of the Year is actually the guy that was feuding him towards the end of the year was Eddie Edwards. Just like Jamin said, a guy that will literally leave anything and everything out in the match, no matter what kind of stipulation is, who he's facing. He'll leave everything out just so the fans have the experience of watching great wrestling, where it's supposed to be. And also, Eddie had some good matches with Davey and Roderick, winning the title from Roderick, which was also nice to see. Yeah. So, Eddie Edwards is my Ring of Honor champion.
Eddie, big props to Eddie Edwards, really one of the most underrated guys who does not get focused on in the mainstream. He's absolutely amazing. You guys have not seen any stuff from Eddie Edwards, not big Ring of Honor guys out there. Please go check this out because the product's absolutely amazing. But as for my overall Wrestler of the Year, I am going to go with CM Punk. If you couldn't see it coming earlier in the show. Quite frankly, you look back upon 2011 and you look at the year that finally CM Punk got to run with the ball and got to have WWE to his own. When I look back at that promo, it gets so much hype and so much. There's so many people analyzing what happened in that summer and what could have been better, could have been this. But look back upon that. That is going to be one of the best promos ever cut in mainstream whatever wrestling. We're going to look back upon that because it was so shocking and so not of the time. It's something that looked back, like we said, that Attitude Era type feel, a lot like that Stone Cold 316 promo. We could really compare the two of those. But I mean, you combine what CM Punk can do as a kind of that indie kind of feel that he has as far as the wrestling and has that kind of feel to him. Then you could also have just that mainstream kind of it factor that he really has. Combines those two and you just have the perfect superstar. There's really nothing you can add to it. And being straight edge, so that's just something even more, a little shooting to the top. CM Punk, my overall Wrestler of the Year.
Mine's Robert Roode. Like I said before, he was a tag champ with Beer Money. Had a great run with the Beer Money. They turned on each other. He won the title from Storm after Storm got his ass handed to him by Angle in the back, supposedly. and then now he's starting to do this nasty heel wrestler. I can't wait to see what's going to come in the future with Robert. So that is my overall wrestler.
That'll now wrap up our 2011 Pro Wrestling Awards show from my partner Pod. I am your host, J-Man. Thank you for watching another edition of the It's Wrestling Report, your source for pro wrestling news, information, opinions, instantly.
This is a battleground!